Make the strings louder.
So this is one of the things that I have been kind of putting off for a little while, which is basically working on this rear hatch. It's in pretty good condition other than just a smidge of surface rust on it, but I was basically just waiting to end up finding a glass or another complete rear hatch. And I thought I was going to end up finding a complete rear hatch instead of just fixing that one. So I was lucky to get this this parts car over here. So it has a good glass in the back, but since it's so wrecked on the other side, I can't use the hatch. I mean, I probably could if I really wanted to tweak a bunch of stuff. But yeah, so the glass is good, so I'll just end up pulling out the glass and then putting the spoiler on that one. And see the fiberglass is all messed up on here. But yeah, so I think that's probably going to be today's agenda. Brandon already did a little bit of the engine bay the other night, but I'm going to have this sandblasted just to take off that little layer right there, and yeah, so it shouldn't be too bad. So this is it after it got done sandblasting. Sorry I didn't really get too big of a video on it. I didn't have my actual video camera with me when he was doing it, and I just whipped out my phone and grabbed a quick little thing. So hopefully the quality is not too bad on that. But I pulled the other Supra out and washed the hood. So you guys seen the video of this with the vented hood on it, so you have to let me know what you think of it with like the OEM hood on it. So it I pushed it down a little bit over here. Obviously that other car, since it was hit, it kind of pushed this up a little bit right there, so it has like a little bit of a hump, but I think I could kind of work it down a little bit more and actually get it to fit a little better. And it also doesn't have the hinges, so it's kind of sticking up, or I don't have the other bolts, so it needs to sit down a little bit. But let me know what you think. This hood with this body kit is basically going on the other Supra. I don't have the side skirt on it right now, but this hood with this body kit. So this is obviously the other hood that was on the other one. This is just loosely bolted on this thing, but it just kind of sketched me out with the way the hood hinge was on it, and I don't want to chance that. Obviously, like that car's gonna be making, you know, I'd say, you know, 500-600 right away. And then after that, you know, I'd like to turn it up to about 8 on 100% stock, and then, you know, eventually, you know, stages. But it's going to be making some power and going fast, so I definitely don't want something like this smashing up, you know, when you're doing, you know, fast things. But yeah, so another thing I want to talk to you guys about was paint color. So I'm not sure if I'm going to do like a solid color or do something like this on it. So like the black silver, and then instead of green, I was planning on maybe doing like that Lexus infrared red. That's actually the color I wanted to do the whole car, but I don't know. After going to that Super meet and seeing so many cars like all one color, and if I paint this car all one color, it's gonna be really hard to tell that it was like that car. You know, everybody remembers this thing when I first got it, but I would like it to be like 100%. Like without a doubt, people know that if they see it, it's like that Supra. You know, it's not, if I painted it black, people be like, oh, is that Supra? Is that, you know, because there's like a million clean black Supras. Like every Supra out there that's one color is like typically like a clean one. But yeah, that's my thoughts. So one of you guys made this on Forza, and so that's pretty much what it would be, just with that other color. Let me know what you think about that. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a little poll up here on the right, and it's basically just gonna say, you know, solid color, like the Motion Auto TV kind of like black silver stripe-ish theme. Let me know what you think. What?
I was having the McDonald's logo.
Why?
They're thinking you have to plug them.
What does this mean? What does that mean? Jesse.
This is 2 rings?
Oh, I know. Jesse's a little double cup. Jesse. So anyhow, so I'm doing the kind of the super shuffle right now, and I gotta do a couple little things. I'm gonna move the Datsun. I might pull it outside and wash it, just because I haven't looked at it in a while, and then maybe put it under a cover again. But anyhow, so I do need to install a wideband on this thing. I robbed the wideband off of it when I did the nitrous KA, and so I'm gonna put another wideband back in it. And I think that's kind of the reason why it was running so weird, is the wideband in it was actually, I think, messed up. And it's actually wired into the AEM as an O2 sensor. So it was always reading lean or rich, or it was just stupid the way it was. So put a brand new wideband in that thing, move it around outside, and then maybe it'll actually like drive better. I don't know. I do need to do a fuel system on it. But as you can tell, I got way too many damn projects. I moved the BMW outside. I actually took it for a quick little drive, and it actually drives pretty good. I cleared all them codes, and I don't know, seems like it's all right. So I'm gonna go ahead, clear the path for this, and then I'm gonna open the doors on the Supra and start yanking some stuff out of it. But I'm gonna throw the Datsun on the lift, throw the wideband in it, see if it runs any better. So the BMW came with this Optima battery that's from late 2015. It was completely dead. I've had it on the charger for like a day and like trickling it, and then like, you know, throwing some amps at it and then trickling it again. I think it might be coming back. So the Datsun, I robbed its battery out of it like years ago. So I'm gonna throw that in there, see if it'll start after I get all this shit moved around it. Hey,
what are you doing?
Oh, what am I doing?
Yes.
Jamie wants to know what I'm doing.
Yes.
I was gonna pull this thing out and wash it because it's really, really dirty. I don't have the O2 sensor in it right now. You can see all this like holy shit dust on it, and so I'm just gonna bring it, like pull it outside, hose it off, and then probably pull it back in here, put the wideband in it. But while it's still kind of light outside, I can make pretty. Oh, do you want to see if this thing will start for me? Actually, here, you.
I'm not gonna start that. I'll get all dirty.
You'll get dirty. Okay.
Yeah.
Hasn't been started since the burnout.
Exhausting. You said it's for common rail, but it's the yellow one, diesel XDP.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got like a little video on it.
Remember that?
Yeah. V-band exhaust.
I'm not trying to go through like 100% like redo all the neglect or like undo all the neglect that's been done to this thing in the past like 4 years of it sitting in the shop. You can see right here there's some overspray. I don't know what that's from, but I'm using this this clay bar to basically just take a little bit of it off. I mean, the whole car kind of has like a light dusting of overspray, but this is actually like David probably was like painting the, you know, the valve cover on something, and you know, decided to use the Datsun. I don't know if it was David or not. I'm just talking shit, but I'm gonna show you that this is some Clay Magic clay. It actually worked really, really good, surprisingly well for clay. But just kind of flipping over the clay every now and then. I'm just using the actual soap from like the car wash stuff. You can see it's removing quite a bit of it. Getting down to the bottom of it almost, and it's, I don't know, it's a lot better. You can see kind of like the little line around it. But yeah, so if you ever get like overspray in your car, like tree sap or clay bar is definitely awesome to try to get some of that shit off. So I know it's kind of a waste of time right now. I have other things, but I just seen this on there and I was like, well, let me see if I can get it off real quick. So
Also, clay bar won't fix that. Just FYI.
who did that? Who did
When you take exhaust off of an LS1, it's got to freaking get it shot in on the import. So I nicked her a little bit right there, and that's some pure metal, boys.
Yeah, so the Datsun was my second car I ever painted. The first car was a single stage Fox Body Mustang, and then this is the base clear, you know, on here. But second paint job ever, first car I ever did body work on it. I got this car when I was 14, and so I'm gonna redo it. That's why it's been sitting around. Everybody asks me if I want to sell it, and I'm just like, no. It was my great grandma's car, and she had it from like 75 on. It was my first project car. I initially swapped a K in it, then turboed it, and then swapped the KT for an SR out of an S chassis. So now it has the SR in it, but I'm not selling it. It's not for sale. I don't think it's ever going to be for sale. But I'm going to redo it eventually, though. I want to repaint it, different color, and actually, now that I know how to do paint and bodywork properly, you know, there's just some stuff that you can see right here. I didn't sand that edge quite all the way, and then, you know, it got a little dinked right there, as well as the hood flew up on me, actually, so it kind of messed up all that stuff. So it needs repainted anyhow. And then actually down here, it had some body filler, some pre-existing body filler, so I just took it out and then did my own. So that's a big old crack in body filler. So that's, I mean, there's just a bunch of little things going around it. I mean, it's presentable, but it's definitely not like a show car. But I do want to go around and like strip it all the way down and redo all the body work and make it really nice one day. But that's why it just kind of sits around. Alright, so Datsun looks pretty good now. I mean, definitely not the best it's ever looked, but it looks a lot better now that it has a little bit of that dust off of it. But yeah, I'm gonna pull it in and put that O2 sensor in it and see if it runs any better, and then probably park it again. It's just gonna sit there, and you guys are all gonna ask me like, why are you such a dick for letting that thing just sit there and chill? But then you also ask me why I don't work on the Supra, and I don't know, like too many things. I don't know why I do this to myself. Alright, so now I got my rat's nest mess of wiring, because I did rewire this whole car with a, like one of them, like universal harnesses or whatever. So I plugged in the O2 sensor, or the wideband O2 sensor, and I got the deal running up through here. That goes through a little grommet, and then, so now, this is actually the Aem X version. So it's the little thin guy, which I had this in the Turbo Crown Vic, and I really, really like that. So I guess it has a wider range, so it actually goes from 8 to 1 to 20 to 1 AFR. So it has a little bit wider reach, so you could see, you know, instead of going to, if it was rich, it would go like 10-0, and you wouldn't know how rich it was. It would just like 10-0. So it could have been like 8 to 1 or whatever. So it could have been like stupid rich, and you wouldn't know. Whereas now, it'll go all the way down to 8-0, whereas like lean-wise, it'll go to like 20. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull this wire from over here. I kind of stopped working on this thing mid like rewiring it, or after I got it wiring and I got it done wired and running. And I kind of wish I wouldn't have. So I need to basically pull it back up and get it into the gauge pot again. All right, so I got it all wired right there. The white wire, the red is power, the black is ground obviously, and then the white wire goes to the ECU, and it is basically the O2 sensor for it. So it looks like it turns on. Let it heat up and see what it does. Okay, full lean. Heating up again. I also installed a new alternator because the other one was like overcharging it, so I'm gonna check the voltage on that. Oh yeah, look at that. See, before it was like, it would go like stupid, it would either just be like full rich or full lean. See, I can tell it's like super rich right now. It's probably because I was adding a bunch of fuel with my laptop, because I was like, why is this thing not doing anything? Yeah, that's way rich, look at that. So got the new alternator plugged in. It's reading right at like 14 volts, which is nice, because the other one was like 17 to 20 volts. It was just like overcharging the shit out of it. Yeah, it's still running really, really rich, like 10-ish, but definitely sounds pissed off. I mean, it's an angry SR. Uh-oh, we got a casualty. Coolant. So you could hear over here, like this nice little, you actually see down in there too. Come on. Spit. Yep. Oh, dang it. Got the thing all foggy on my thing. But yeah, so it started leaking a little bit of coolant, and that's not good. But I was messing with the tune a little bit and trying to change it back over to the other thing, because right now it's got like a blend of like E85 and not E85. Actually, it's mostly not E85, because I was like, well, it's going to be sitting for a while. I'm still all foggy. But yeah, so I'm going to, I don't know what I'm going to do. I wanted to drive it to Sonic and go get a, you know, half-price shake with the old lady, but I'll probably have to drive something else. So I got the coolant hose replaced in it, and it seems like it's doing a lot better. It's actually staying, I think I actually have it bled now, but really wish I had the fuel system in here so I could actually take this thing for a rip, because it was a lot of fun in the other car. System in here ASAP and go for a rib. Alright, so I actually just got back from a little drive in it. And so what happened is, I'm sitting here idling, or I had backed it outside, was just letting it idle, make sure the cooling system and everything was all good, not leaking. And I got back, and it just died. It started acting all weird and stumbling and, you know, sputtering and doing all kinds of weird stuff. And basically just ran out of gas. Which was a good thing. I had some fresh E85 that was going to go in the Integra car, you know, if I needed it. And so I went ahead and put it back in here, changed the tune a little bit, richened it back up for the E85, and I am going to take it for its first rip. Now it was a little bit lean in boost. I don't know, it hit like 12 pounds in the wastegate open, and it was like 12-ish AFR, so I went ahead and I hooked up the fuel pressure regulator. I believe that's a rising rate fuel pressure regulator, so hopefully that'll just add a couple more PSI of fuel pressure when I get into boost. And so yeah, I'm gonna take this thing for a rip down the road and see how it actually does now. So this car does have the BMW ellipsoid, like the E30 or E36. I think they're E30 headlights with DDM tuning, like 55 watt HID, so you can see the nice little cut right there. I'm gonna be like really surprised if like the wideband is the thing that fixed this thing.
critters in the field.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked to say the least. The smell of E85 is in the air. You see my little Datsun 510, you know, etched logo in the thing from all the overspray. But yeah, this thing seems like it's running like really good. So I'm surprised. So basically all I have for the fuel system off of this thing is basically there's like a 1/4 inch fuel line coming off of the tank from the factory, and I'm coming off of that and I'm going into like an inline fuel filter, then into an inline Walbro, straight up to this, and then a return system back to the tank. But yeah, so initially when I first got this thing going in here, I went out and I did basically some rips just like that, kind of eased into it, checking the air fuel ratios, and then as soon as you get into boost, it would go like straight lean. But it was just kind of finicky all the time. I don't know. And so that's why I was thinking that it needed the fuel system, and that's why I was like, screw E85 and, whatever it's doing. So I kind of did like a, put it back on pump gas, especially because it was being stored. But anyhow, now it's on E85 again. It's, I don't know, I guess the tune is kind of okay with it. I think the main issue was the stupid wideband, because like I said, it was the O2 sensor for this engine, and then when I first put this wideband in, it was kind of acting kind of finicky. It was a way different reading than the ECU. So I ended up hooking up the ground, because I didn't have that hooked up for like the brown strap ground or whatever for the wideband. Hooked that up and then blended there's like a O2 sensor configuration thing. So I just scaled it a little bit differently for this until they both matched. So the ECU actually was reading the same exact as the gauge. But yeah, I'm pretty stoked about that. I still probably will do the fuel system on it. Basically, I have a surge tank, and so I was gonna do like kind of like a low pressure like lift pump, kind of like a carbureted fuel pump, like a little electric one that only does like 5 psi, and feed the surge tank, and then from that feed the inline Walbro. So that's kind of the idea. Now I just need to figure out what I'm gonna do with like parking it and where I'm gonna put it, because I'd kind of like to have all 3 of the Supras right here, but I kind of want to take that other one and like put it in storage, like the other like rainy day Supra, just to get it out of my way, so I don't have to like be moving it in and out and stuff. So maybe when we move into the house, I might put it in the garage there, but I'm not sure. So yeah, I decided to clean up the engine bay a little bit. Just kind of spritzed it with some stuff and then wiped it down. So it looks a hell of a lot better. I also kind of cleaned up the interior, not a whole lot, but I vacuumed it, put a little bit of the wiring away, threw a floor mat over there on that side, and made it a little bit better than it was. But yeah, so then I got this little section right here cleaned up, put away some of this crap, swept up all the bullshit from underneath the Datsun from it sitting there for like, I don't even know how long, but so yeah, I got all these things in here, and looking, it's kind of a nice lineup. I don't know, everything, it's neat. Nissens, and Toyotas. With Nissan engines and Toyota engines. But yeah, like I said, let me know what hood you guys think, and I think I'm gonna end that video here. The next video you guys should see, I'm gonna be doing body work on this thing. Like I said, Brandon's already been kind of sanding the engine bay. He's kind of gonna be, I don't know, I'm gonna probably end up having to finish up most of this by myself. He might be available. He just got a big hell job like up north, so he's gonna be painting, you know, like brand new hoods and working with some PDR guys. So he's gonna be kind of gone for most of the summer. But I don't know, it might be kind of far-fetched, but I'm gonna try to get this thing painted before the baby comes, which is like a month, less than a month, 3 weeks. I don't know, we'll see. I would definitely like to, but I need to just kind of start picking away on it. Yeah, I'm gonna quit rambling. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you in a couple days.